I see a lot of people who respond to the situation they're currently in with the perspective and the emotional context of things that aren't even happening. Like, in their mind, they're triggered already. They're already triggered. Like, as soon as they see a circumstance that looks somewhat familiar or adjacent to all of the things that we talk, like you might see someone who is having an interaction with somebody and they totally overreact towards the person and the situation, and you can see that, and you can see that they're making accusations about things that aren't even happening right now, you know, accusing that person of doing things or saying things that mean something that they didn't directly say, right? And they're offshooting energy from this stuff, man, into their life because they feel like they're about to get treated like that. They feel like they already have gotten treated like this, and these are the only circumstances and the only ways that people feel and think. And it's not true. Like, we have been, I can't even say lying, because a lot of the things that we talk about in regards to each other, we actually do to each other. However, that's a different thing than saying it's in our nature. We act out of our nature quite a bit, and it would behoove us as, I don't even want to say a community, as a species, it would behoove us to work together, build some harmony, and truly like work together. Like, the reason that I wanted to address this particular video is because of what I just stated. The fact that we could really and truly work together. Like, this guy right here is very intelligent. And I don't feel like, obviously, he feels, you know, affection for or compassion for men and women, not in a sexual way, right? I'm just saying, I don't feel like this guy hates women. You know, he has dialogues with them very often, and what he does with those dialogues is point out very explicitly where he feels like they error at, right? But from the intellect that this person has, and watching him have the conversation that he has with people, it just wasn't lost on me how much of a difference it would make if he took another avenue with communicating with people. If he took that intellect, instead of using it as a sharp point to poke at somebody with, if he took that to navigate their perception and their consciousness to self, right? To help them see where they misnavigated at. Like, it seems to me that there's this need to be abrasive and aggressive and volatile and hostile when we speak to our women about our issues with them and the issues that we have with them in regards to other things. Like, and I get it because we get it. Like, that's what we get, right? But what I'm saying is that it saddens me to know that we are so much greater than we allow ourselves to be. And I just wish a lot of us would allow ourselves to be a a greater version of ourselves, a higher version of ourselves. And not to say anybody's doing anything wrong. It's more of a I see potential thing. Not that you're not achieving right now, but I see how much you're not allowing yourself to do. I see how much more could be done that's left undone. And I would love to see someone like this, take the time and put in the effort to navigate people down a brighter path, right? Because he's very intelligent and he gets it. He really get like what the lefts and the rights are. However, I feel like a lot of people who get it get lost in this traditional conversation that we're having with each other about men mad at women and women mad at men, and we both been real bad to each other, and we don't want to acknowledge what karma we have brought ourselves for the damage that we've done to the other party. Like, that's on both ends. It don't even matter who or if one of us is more superior to the other, because neither one of us are acting any better. Neither one of us are treating the other any better, talking about or talking to the other any better. Like, we're generally, and I'm not painting a broad umbrella and putting every individual inside of it, but generally, a generality, most people, most men and most women have not been good to each other. They've both done cruelty, just been really cruel to each other, callous, unempathetic, and there are scars. There were wounds created. There are scars now that have scabbed over instead of healing. And those scabs and they haven't healed because those scabs keep getting scratched off, right? So it is evidently clear what will happen if we continue doing what we're doing with each other. Just a whole bunch of what's going on right now. The only way that we will get a better outcome out of our interactions with each other is if we have them differently. What we're doing will only get us more of what we have. If we want something better, we got to do something different. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like this young man and this person that he's talking to, feel like both of those people would want better for themselves and for the rest of us as a whole with our relationships and communication with each other. I feel like they both would prefer if our relationships with each other was better, more wholesome, more connected, right? But they're not having the type of conversation that would facilitate that, which is why I picked it to talk about, because they're not having a helpful dialogue. As a matter of fact, the dialogue that they're having is generally unhelpful to us as a whole, right? I would like to see more men and more women take responsibility take the responsibility of having conversations that heal. Men, I really feel like it's not how I feel. Men being men, as a man, right? When you look out into the world that we living in, that we created, our world, our society, right? What you see is a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. Like, we all agree that men are providers and protectors, right? Well, I feel like in that regard we missed the boat. Our kids are in danger. I mean, our children have been gotten to in a real major way. Our society has become toxic to our children. Our society has become toxic to our women. Our society has become toxic to our men. However, as men, it doesn't matter whether we caused the problem or not. We do hold the responsibility of it. For us, we're pillars. We're strong so that we can support. That's why we have more strength. That's why we're here, to be leaders, guiders, supporters. And we are doing that. However, we're not protecting our children and our women from the things that are causing them the most harm. We're not guiding them down the path that will lead us to connect back with each other, right? And those are areas that as a whole we're lacking in. I mean, just look at it. There's nothing but dysfunction in our relationships. And I'm not giving my perspective. This is just a fact. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that things are the way that they are because we didn't do a good job. I'm not saying that, because that's not the case. What I'm saying is we found ourselves in a very precarious situation, a very precarious spot, and we're stuck in it. And as men, we shouldn't use our strength and our intellect to attack our people, those who we are responsible for. We are supposed to guide, protect, and lead. And we're not doing that while we're attacking. We can handle it. We can take the attacks. We can take the abuse. We can take the lack of love. We can take the mistreatment. We can take all the toxicity. We can take everything. We don't deserve to. We shouldn't have to. But we're built to be able to. And we have the inner strength required to make the choice to do it, but we're not, because it's easy not to. And we don't get what we're supposed to have in response to the guidance, the protection, the leadership. It's like, although we bear that responsibility, we're not just this infinite. We don't just have this infinite internal reservoir. In order to pour out, something has to be poured into our cup. And there's nothing doing that, which is why, for everyone else outside of the men realm, that's why we're not upholding all of the responsibilities that we have, because the responsibility to us is not being upheld. We need more poured into our cups so that we can pour out more into the world, because both are needed. We're needed, and we need the rest of us, humanity. Men, we need our children and our women beside us. Truly, we do. Like, we can't function like this. We're not functioning like this.